Welcome back. The Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, in collaboration with Standard Bank, hosted the G20 Empowerment of Women Working Group Women to Africa think tank. I sat down with Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga. Of course, she is the Minister in the Presidency for Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities of South Africa, who reflected on the barriers holding women back and why empowering them is key to driving Africa's economic transformation. Here's that conversation.
If you speak women and poverty, it's women. If you speak unemployment, it's women. If you speak gender-based violence, it's women. If you speak informal businesses, the majority are women. And that makes, therefore, women to be this untapped resource because they've not been given an opportunity to actually do what they are capable of and to actually show to the world and the continent to say this is what we are capable of. And it's not because they don't want to, but it's because of the many barriers that are there. Some of the barriers are exactly what was discussed by the very last panel here today. That if you look at the requirements, for instance, in the financial institutions, they make it very difficult for women in business to access those finances. Now, you can't run any business without money. You can't run any businesses today without technology. You can't run any business today without any market. And these are the things that therefore makes women to be this untapped resource, which we believe if we open and we make resources available, then of course women will be able to prove themselves that we are capable, and as a matter of fact, we might even be better entrepreneurs given the opportunity.
Highlighted something very interesting, that systems change the world. Just to get to more detail on that, just to drill into that and really where we should start in terms of systematic change.
I think first we've got to ensure that women have access to finance. And when we do that, we then say to our finance institutions, make it easy for women, because you are saying they are a low risk. You are saying so. You are saying that when women borrow money, they are likely to pay it back. So if that is the case, give them then, make it possible for them to get that money so that they can run their businesses, and give them space to actually pay back at a time that is right and ripe for them. So you don't give them money today, you ask for them to pay the following day when they hardly have made any profit. But also you don't say, before I can give you money, I need a collateral. They don't own any property. That is historic in the continent. So if you're asking for a collateral, definitely already excluding a woman. And then of course, when you do that today, you are digitizing. Women too should be trained, given those skills, it's important, so that they too can actually have the latest equipment, the latest resources for them to run their businesses. They do that, of course they need the market. And that market must be ready to get to buy from women companies. It will not assist for you, for instance, for the institutions to say, here is money, that's fine, and probably these are your products. But we're not going to allow you to have a small equipment for you to test the quality of your products, so that we buy it at the right price. So it's all those things that are happening that actually make women not able. And therefore, for me, the whole value chain is as important as the idea of a woman. The market is as important as the technology that is required. The idea and the technology is as important as the market that must buy from this woman at a cost and at a price that makes it possible for the woman to run and to make profits.
It's actually quite interesting that you allude to, technology and digitization, but I think that this is now an element in every economic sector. Of course, there are certain sectors that have a high concentration of women in the economy, but we know that even that economic landscape is evolving, where now there are new emerging sectors. So talk to me about the gaps there that we need to open up to ensure that the face of these new economic sectors is women-led and craft.
You know, if we speak about technology gap, for instance, it affects women. So what it actually means is that you're bringing in again something new that's going to make it difficult for women to compete fairly in their businesses. And that is why we are saying, even here in South Africa, to government, we cannot continue to talk technology gap without addressing it. When it is going to affect women again. So we'll be talking about, for instance, finance. When we address that, then we must talk about technology gap, which again is going to affect women. We are going to talk about access to market, which affects women. We are saying the whole value chain must be addressed, and therefore the gap must actually be closed. Women in rural areas too must have technology. They must be able, the cell phone. It cannot be that there are times where a woman is not able to use the cell phone because of access to technology. These are the issues. No, they sound small, but they have direct impact on women who want to be in business and want to be supported. The skills and the training is as important so that women are also able and are skilled to run their businesses. And these are the things that we're talking about here, to say your financial institutions, one, when you listen to all of them, they have programs for women empowerment. But the problem is that that is not impacting on reducing women who do not have problems that we're talking about. I was just talking immediately when I was standing up. There were women behind me. They are in business. They're still saying there are challenges that are affecting them. So if a woman who already is in the urban areas have access to some of the things that we're talking about, but they're still complaining about challenges in accessing funds, etc., what about a woman in rural areas? And therefore, these are the issues that we're trying to deal with. What we want to see happening after this, we're taking notes of these things. And we'll definitely want to then invite the financial institutions only and say these are the things that we agreed upon. How far are you to bring some change?
That was Sindisiwe Chikunga, Minister in the Presidency for Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities of South Africa.